Steve, did you see that sun this morning? I know you did. I saw you looking out the window. Gorgeous. Kinda had to lean over the deck a little bit here. Just before 6 a.m. It was still. And it's still fairly still. You say we go check it out. T-Rex, let's go. Yeah, come on, Rex. I can hear a plane going overhead. Let's let that go by and go out into the still, which will not be still for much longer, not when T-Rex goes out the door. 68 degrees, 7:08, July 22nd. The barometer 30.05, fairly high and steady. Outdoors is cooler than indoors, 77 degrees. It's been tough to cool off the house with this recent less humid air not being that much less humid from Boston and points south, but it's still, and there's a heavy dew in the grass. Where are you going? Yeah, in the sedge grass and the rye and the clover. Gorgeous. Yeah, that was a couple of hours ago. We were looking over there. It's not much longer. We're going to be able to see the sun north of our neighbor's house. It's going to proceed to the south as the seasons transition. T-Rex trying to chase birds that are flying by. Just doesn't work, T-Rex. But I appreciate your effort. So it's a Monday, and it's actually a work day for me. Work is play, play is work. Going over the Blue Hill Observatory. It's called Launch Your Meteorology Career. We've got 8 students this year, and that's the max. It's as many as we can hold. Yesterday in the garden, harvested a pumpkin, and I put it on the table, and Janet says, way too early for a pumpkin, so she put it back in the garden. Thank you, Janet, for that help. Oh, that's interesting. It's called Bass Rock right over there, on the other, through the mast of the sailboat. Very low tide with the full moon just passed. Yeah, there goes our Serengeti lion over to the spot where I know I won't lose him. Good, good. So what's going on this morning with this calm air and dew in the grass? You'd think there's a high pressure system right over us, wouldn't you? Well, that's not the case. There are actually 3 fronts in the northeast. Most of them, they're pretty much stationary fronts, and they're gonna activate today. The temperature and dew point map, 45 over 45 at 6:30 this morning, Berlin, New Hampshire. That is just crisp and delightful with some valley fog. And then dew point of 70 on Chatham. I mean, at Chatham and on Nantucket. That is not delightful. That is a tough day for working outdoors on Cape Cod and the islands again today. And this beauty isn't going to last that long. We have pretty rough several days of weather ahead, and they'll probably end up with flooding here. It's another rainfall lottery kind of week as the warm air tries to come back north and the cooler air to the north resists. And we're going to have dual stationary fronts across southeastern Canada into Maine and across the south coast of New England. And the first shot over the bow really was this morning when the heavy rain, a tiny little thunderstorm near Philadelphia, produced flash flooding and 4.5 inches of rain in that little green shaded area there near Philadelphia, while the real rain is off to the southwest. So on Ken's recommendation in the comments section, I'm reading your comments. Thank you, Mark, for the compliments. I'm glad you had your beautiful Gunquit vacation. Anyhow, Ken says, don't call it the HRRR, High Resolution Rapid Refresh. It's too much. Call it the HRRR. Here it is, HRRR. And it looks like almost a summertime nor'easter coming at us. With the rain coming in from the southwest, you've got a primary 1,014 millibar low going up into Pennsylvania and New York, and boom, it redevelops over Long Island with heavy rain, downpours, and that low goes right across Block Island into Nantucket. 2 strips of heavy rain, one near the south coast, and another, call it the lean cold rule, off to the north and west of the center of the low, which is departing tomorrow afternoon. So that's the first slug of rain coming across New England. If you quantify it, it's called the quantitative precipitation forecast. After I show you this beautiful reflection of light waves off the boats onto the water and the water waves. Yeah, yesterday was the big wave day. The QPF on this one, generally speaking, it looks like a ½ inch to 1.5 inches, but there are lollipops. That means some spots get more than others, and there's that strip there across central New York into northern New England. I call that the lean cold rule, where the very warm and humid air is wrung out more efficiently, where the air is colder to the north and west. And the bullseye on this one near Berlin, New York, just west of the Berkshires of Massachusetts, 5.84 inches of rain forecast by the HRRR. So you saw that 4.5 this morning near Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. So why not believe that someone may get 5 inches of rain between mostly 2 a.m. tonight, 2 a.m. Tuesday into 2 a.m. Wednesday. And this is just the first of several planes landing toward the east at Logan Airport. I think that developed yesterday when the backdoor front went by. Not much wind behind this front though, huh? Just gorgeous. Anyhow, I show you the map here. Tomorrow afternoon, dual warm fronts, dual low pressure systems. Wednesday morning still looks pretty much the same. So it's going to be very warm and sticky in southern New England, rather less warm but still sticky in northern New England, with off and on rain starting tonight. Here's the Euro going forward. Before I say that, the lean cold rule, I show you 45 this morning in Berlin, New Hampshire. It was 41 degrees on Mount Washington. The coolest air for the entire month, several times this month, has been about 40 or 41 degrees. So this is about as cool as the air has been over New England this month. Can we help you with something? Stop. Please stop. I mean, I'm already talking loud enough. Why don't you lay down on your T-Rex? Rex, stop. To the Euro. There's the first batch of rain coming at us. Now, this is nowhere near the high resolution as the HRRR, so you can't depict where the heaviest rains are going to be. But you can see they're off and on, with waves of low pressure moving across southeastern Canada and waves of low pressure coming across the south coast of New England. And then it looks like on Thursday we're kind of getting a warm front in the morning and a cold front in the afternoon. And then Thursday night and Friday, look at that nice big high pressure system in southeastern Canada. A lot of black lines, a lot of isobars, windy from the northwest Friday, as much less humid air sweeps across all of New England with a nice push of air. This is going to be the best push of air we've seen in some time from the north and northwest in about maybe 3 weeks or so. And then that high comes right over us with the weekend looking just gorgeous at this point. And then you have the high kind of, there's another cold front in there. I didn't really show it that well because you can't really see it that well, but there's an even colder front coming in before that happens. And then on the backside of that high, that's where you have to watch out for the next action. That would be coming in somewhere around Monday and Tuesday of next week, days 8 and 9. And doesn't look like much though, does it? Looks like going to be a front to the north and not much going on across most of the nation. And once again, it's 2 days later than we showed 3 days ago, but the 588 thickness is over South Dakota again, and it's a massive 588 upper level high pressure system. And 588, remember the thickness rules, that's very warm, low density air, and that means temperatures could be over 100 in much of the central part of the nation on day 8 or 9. And you know, we said that a couple days ago for next Monday, now we're saying it for next Wednesday. So either way, you know summer's got a long way to go. Enough. Enough. You want to go up there? Go ahead. See you later. Bye. All right, so our in more yesterday, Sunday, my favorite thing to do is not have much of a plan. I was around here much of the day. We did go paddling. Rex, stop. Going on over there, going fishing. We went paddling. It was a good day, and the wind picked up briefly when the air came in from the northeast, and So we're having a good day. Baloo gave us a visit yesterday. Baloo, you know him mostly from the ski area. Bernie, like the burner. Actually, we saw him on Nantucket a few weeks ago, didn't we? So anyhow, it's a family dog. And that's George. Hey, George, how's it going? Love that boat. Let's go for a ride. And I went and saw Kenny at Hingham Auto, and we settled up, and I heard him say happy birthday, and then he said, hey, this is the Weatherman, and people love to say, hey, this is the Weatherman. So Kenny said, Jillian, this is Tim Kelly, and she goes, oh, I love the weather. We used to watch Storm Stories with Jim Cantori all the time. He's my favorite. I'm like, oh, well, he's a lot of people's favorites. I'll let him know that it's your birthday and tell him he's a super fan. So I did. I let Jim know that it was Jillian's birthday, and being the biggest, kindest, hardest, warmest man I know, Jim was kind enough to send a birthday greeting to someone he's never met, Jillian. That's the kind of guy Jim is, and that's going to be in our In-More, and along with some scenes from a really interesting sky yesterday afternoon and evening. All right. Off to work I go, I-oh, off to work I go at the Blue Hill Observatory, even though it's a volunteer position. Hey, George, good morning for it, isn't it? Talk to you tomorrow. How about that? Trying to time a backdoor front. July style, the wind is already coming in from the northeast in Boston. That could make a difference of a high temperature close to 90 or a high temperature not even making 80. And I found a new way to get rid of that sedge grass. Yeah, Maine Coon cat grazes on sedge grass. Good job, Steve. I think he uses it like people use dental floss. And I'm continually stepping on bees because I go out here barefoot and I get a lot of clover. The bees love the clover. And I do like the bees, except for the fact that they're always stinging me. Maybe you should wear some shoes once in a while. Steve doesn't wear shoes. And T-Rex, how funny. I made this relief art using a relief art, I said, using a pressure washer. And I drew a T-Rex right there. And this dog, T-Rex, loves to lay here. All right, Danny, we're gonna get out on the water. Is the wind actually picking up from the northeast? You gotta get the wind right to get the temperature right. Also interesting that the cumulus forming more toward the ocean, indicating that's where there's a convergence zone. So just a light sea breeze for now. And I think it's a good morning to get some exercise out there.
Sup, life?
But seeing as I'm going out there, I can't make a video of us out there. Not with this camera technology anyway, so I'll be back in a while. It was only a half hour. But it was a good workout.
Good workout. Good effort.
All those boats, they leave a lot of waves, especially over there. So even though it looks calm, you gotta deal with some 1 to 2 footers, don't you?
Oh, man. It's tough trying to balance on this.
Yeah, those floaties. Floaties are good for lakes, but really tough to balance on. Get a better workout. You get a better workout than I did. Yeah. Now the question is it going to rain today? We've got a boundary, collision of air masses. Cumulus are getting bigger.
Well, if you want to leave some power tools out, Tim, that'll rain.
Yeah, stand by for news, more news. Oh, what a day in Northeast United States. It's kind of warm out here, but we've got a birthday girl. What's your name? Where you from?
Jillian.
And who's your favorite meteorologist?
Jim Cantori, definitely.
Not Tim
the
Kelly.
Greatest.
And
The
what is
greatest.
it? Why? What does he do for you?
Oh my God, I just love him. It's bald head and all.
Hey Jillian, how you doing? Meteorologist Jim Cantori here to wish you a big happy birthday. I'm sure it's a big one. I'm sure it's a great one. Coming at you from beautiful Greenville, South Carolina. Check it out. This is our room we just checked into. Pretty sweet. That's probably the Smokies over there. That's what I think. Those mountains off in the distance. You're probably looking at a big glare right now. I don't know. I've never done this before. Anyway, listen, it's your birthday. Make it a great one. This guy named Tim Kelly, he's like, Jim, you got to do this for me, man. And I'm like, absolutely, Tim, anything for you. Tim's a great guy. He's got a huge heart. So I'm happy to do it. And listen, make it a great birthday.
2 o'clock update. Baloo just got a stick. Riggs wants some of the action. I don't know. You kind of outmatched there, T-Rex. Baloo. Can't even control it. This way. Go get it, Rex. Go get that stick. So it just happened. It was 88 degrees at 2:15, and it was 71 degrees at 3:05. So we dropped about 17 degrees in 50 minutes at Logan Airport. And it's still pretty nice. And when this cloud gets done with us, probably warm back up a little bit. That big dog kept Steve inside. Mitt, meanwhile, is helping me out. He just logged me out of my computer. I was going to show you the sticky weather map. So the back door front came by an hour and a half ago, and it was kind of breezy, but now it's stagnated again, and it's quite warm. Really fun sky. There's some smoke, there's some clouds, and the wind has died down again, but the humidity is forecast to go down at least for 24 hours. Classic. Very low tide at dinner time when there's a full moon. That backdoor cold front didn't really make us cold. It did cool off for a while, but it's warmed back up again. But less humid air is coming in for at least a short time. Some nice cumulus developing right here over Boston. But it looks like we're rain-free for another day and a half or 2 days. Looking from Hingham over to Weymouth. And some nice cumulus. And if my time lapse works, I'll share it now, but it didn't work yesterday, so. And more and more and more. Can't see the moonrise from my house, so you gotta settle for sunsets.